Director Panos Cosmatos of Mandy fame retools the dystopian sci-fi visions of the 1970s in his tremendously underrated debut, Beyond the Black Rainbow. Funded primarily with royalties received by his father for the film Tombstone, Black Rainbow thematically links the baby boomers' countercultural revolution of the 60s with its openness to psychedelics and transcending and occultism and the like, to the repressive and paranoid Reagan-era in which the story takes place. What's the story? Well, I'll do my best. Basically, a drugged-out practitioner named Barry, for whom a transcendent trip went horribly wrong, has taken over a state-of-the-art mental health facility. He's violently obsessed with a telekinetic subject named Elena. Oh, and he also moonlights as a slasher villain, which gives Cosmatos free rein to mess around with the sensibilities of another 80s genre staple. Arboria, the initial thought leader and founder of the Institute, is himself a recluse whacked out on drugs, and the film implies a connection between him and Elena's mysterious gathering power. Now, if you're looking for an easily legible narrative, you'll be pissed off. If you're the kind of person who wants to know how the tech throughout the film is working in minute detail, you'll also be pissed off. Beyond the Black Rainbow is a psychedelic, atmospheric experience that you're supposed to just sink into and vibe with, potentially on drugs. I went in with just a standard vape high for this rewatch, which is probably easy mode compared to shrooms and LSD, but there you go.
I'm too old for this shit.
Oddly enough, this is also the first Canadian film I've covered in a proper video, so shout out to a fellow Canuck.
You know, Canadians are very reserved except in road rage and cinema. Horrible road rage in Toronto. Horrible. And also in cinema, for some reason, Canadians let loose. And it's fantastic.
Black Rainbow is obviously reverent of George Lucas's debut feature, THX 1138. Both deal with themes of control, mental health, and modern isolation. Its retro-tech world of pulsing reds and yellows feels cut from the same cloth as A Clockwork Orange or Logan's Run. And there's a bit of Cronenberg's Scanners too, and how psychic inner worlds existing in everyday society drive the plot. These reoccurring psychic burst ideas in our science fiction might as well be a metaphor for quiet, reserved Canadiana's deep inner world venting on film across decades. The imagery in the film is absolutely astonishing and tactile on 35mm film, with mesmerizing dissolves, symmetry, and lush colors. The environments are vivid and transporting. Jeremy Schmidt's throbbing, eerie synth score pairs with all of this perfectly. It is a slow-paced experience, but just when you start noticing that your patience is being tested, that's when you kind of go, fuck it, and just give yourself over to mind-melding with this weird imagery and world. It really wants to make you feel trapped and suffocated as its protagonist is, with the deep reds and droning of the Institute, and then when she breaks out it wants you to feel the freedom and taste the fresh air. The performances are often very Lynchian in that disaffected and strange way, except for the two leads, who need to be distinct as they represent the polar extremes of emotional repression that are key to the story. Elena wants to break free of the emotional control Barry is desperate to assert over her and himself with bureaucratic questionnaires, drugs, and other experimental therapy. I remember people describing Michael J. Rogers as a discount Christian Bale back in the day, and there are notes of American Psycho's Patrick Bateman here, but that simple comparison sells short a tremendously creepy performance with a stunning physical transformation later on.
I'm meant to be in the world, Rosemary. I see what others cannot see.
When I first saw it in high school, Black Rainbow made an immediate and significant impression on me. It really went on to shape how I saw and wrote science fiction. At the time, when it came to atmospherics, most sci-fi was very reboot Trek looking, if that makes sense. Sleek steel, blue holograms, tight bodysuits, a clean, corporate, commercial look, and a far cry from the lived-in grittiness of early Star Wars or Alien, or the psychedelic expressionism of 2001 or A Clockwork Orange. Beyond the Black Rainbow's dazzling art direction draws from both camps, and that made it euphoric for me at the time. While it had something of a lukewarm initial reception, it has developed more of a cult following and critical reappraisal over time, partially thanks to Cosmatos' knockout sophomore feature, reigniting interest in it. If you ever found a wild-looking VHS tape on your dad's shelf as a kid and threw it on while everyone else was asleep only to be met with a bizarro otherworld in a haze of childlike wonder, That's the feeling this film perfectly captures. If you've never seen it before, or if you're jumping back in again,
you are about to embark on a great journey. Are you ready, my friend?